Today we are learn the DBMS. In that lecture we can learn the DBMS. So what is basic concept of DBMS as well as objectives of DBMS, advantages, disadvantages, their characteristics, function, structure and all. As well as we can learn in their relationships, in their attributes and entities, as well as history of database. So today we can learn first of all the introduction of DBMS. In DBMS, first we can learn data, information and system. Data. Data means what? Some raw material or some known fact, as well as the data like contains phone number, contact number, text, images, audio files, video files, all that we can say as data. In that data, there will be mainly two types. Traditional data. Traditional data means what? Text or your phone number or any number is mainly a traditional data. Images, speech, audio files, video files. It can be all related with multimedia data. Second, information. Information means what? When the data is processed, organized, or presented in a given context. So it's an useful. So it is called an information. Information is mainly used when when that information is mostly used or why it is used. Information, first of all, for example, YouTube. On that YouTube, we can search anything just like some Java videos. It can be provide information related that data. So that is called as an information. Information which can be organized or some process data also. We can also see some information related people in Facebook also, as well as we can use Google. In Google, we can search some information related anything, just like any country related some places. We can search in that Google. So that Google provide information related about what that country name. So country name is data. Information is what that data can be used or that information we can be get provided. Third part is what system. System is used to achieve a specific function, that interconnection of components. That interconnection components means what? The connection between two things between that. That system is mainly which system is information processing system. It is called as an IPS. That IPS means what? Information processing system. As well as the system must be contains software and hardware also. So that system is used to achieve a specific functions to some interconnection or interconnected components, which is used to get information processing system. Next, database. Database means what? Or why it is important that database. Database is a connection of related data, and data is collection of facts, figures that can be proceed to produce information. As well as we can say the database means what? We can record some contact number of our mobile phone. That phone on our mobile phone, we can save that contact number as per some person name or our friend's name. So we can access that database in our mobile phone. As well as, for example of that database is hospital data. In that hospital, number of faculties are working in that hospital, just like doctors, nurses, different types of wards are there, different parts of wards in there, that type of wards that patients are presented in the wall. The mostly data represent recommendable facts. Data is producing information which is based on facts. For example, if we data about marks obtained by students, we can then conclude about toppers and average marks. In the database, we can say the student's name as well as can we say a different subject's names and that subject which students get how many marks on that marks we can be calculate as average marks on that average marks we can be select some toppers also. A database management system stores data such a way that becomes easier to retrieve as well as manipulate and produce information. For example, college database. In that college database, there will be number of things are present in our college. For example, in college, there will be number of faculties are working, number of teachers are present, as well as number of classes, as well as number of courses. On that course or to class, there will be number of students are presented. So we can retrieve some data about that college for a specific faculty or a specific course. In that course, we can achieve some specific students data. We can begin easily by what? By using that database management system. In the database management system, we can be data, we can be achieve data as directly. There will be no require too much time. So we can take another example just like Flipkart. In a Flipkart, we can be number of things we can be shopping on there. On that shopping, first of all, we can shopping as the first time. First of all, we can we check that product name, product quality, color. As per in their Flipkart, there will be save our some data. In that basis, we can be secondly can be goes their website where there will be can see that related product also. Why it's happened because on their system our data can be saved. On that data they can be displayed the number of products or number of things about what about they can be saved our first time visited our product prices or product colors or something which can be shopping on that on their side. So database management system is mostly important because we can be produce or we can be manipulate or retrieve information of data as an easier way. Next is what? The objective of DBMS. DBMS is database management system. The database must be capable of solving challenging problems of different organizations. Means what? We can be get some information about some hospital. So we can be get easily because we can be use that DBMS, means database management system. By using database management system, we can be save our data at a specific faculty as well as number of things present in that institute, college, hospital, or library. So we can be solving the challenging problems of in a different organization. Some objectives of database management systems are as follows. First of all is what? Provide a mass storage of relevant data. In there, they can be provide a storage for a specific data. Second is making easy access to data for the authorized user. In that database can be used or access the data only an authorized user. For example, we can be go in hospital. In that hospital, we cannot be retrieved or achieve that some specific word data can be handled only on reception list or a specific man or woman in they are working in that hospital. So it is easy to access data from an authorized user, providing prompt response to user request for a data. Another is eliminate redundantly data. Redundantly data means they can be eliminate duplicate. We cannot be enter any duplication entry or duplicate entry on the database. There will be allow the multiple users to achieve at one time. Some data can be achieved a more users, just like in a Flipkart. Allow the growth of database system means what? We can be allowed the growth of database system to provide the data integrity, or we can enter a number of data in the database system. Provide a data integrity also. Protect the data from a physical harm and authorize access also. We can be protect or we can be secure our data from that database, as well as physical harm and unauthorized access, that some data cannot be accessed from another one else, serving a different types of users. Then next is what? The characteristics. Characteristics of Dbms. Then means what? What are the characteristics? First is what? Real world entity. Dbms is more realistic. It is uses real world entity to decide its architecture. The uses behavior and attribute to, for example, a school database or a college database or any institute database is a real world entity. The real world entity means what? Uh, Actually, what process is going on in your college means what? In our college, number of departments are present in our college. In that number of department, number of faculties are working. In that faculty, number of teachers are working. The teachers are doing what? It's teaching us students. What subjects are that teachers teaching to students? All that data can be covered up or saved up in the database system. So it is a real world entity. It is a real world, or it is a realistic relation based tables. Relation means tables means what? I'm just recently now explained that the entities and relations among from the tables means what? The students can be take some relation with that teacher. Student can be relate or the students can be related with that subject. It's a relation. So relation based tables. Isolation of data and application. A database system is entirely different than its data. The database is an active entity on which the database works and organizes. DBMS also stores metadata, which is data about data to each its own process. Some data can be has some own process, as well as that data can be active entity. Means student is an active entity. What? Because student can be performing or doing some subject related work or practical, as well as some completion of that project. It's all is an active work, no? So database is an active entity. All that data can be saved in database. So database is an active entity. Less redundancy. Database follows rules of normalization, which supplies a relation when any its attributes is having redundancy in values. Normalization is a mathematically reached a specific process that reduce the data redundancy. Means number of data cannot be seen or duplication is not allowed. Consistency means what? Some consistent data. Consistency is a state where every relation in the database remains consistent. Means a specific. A database can provide a greater consistency as compared to easier form of data storing applications like file processing system. In file processing system, we can be update our file, we can be manipulate our file, we can be delete our file, we can be add some data in our file. So it is a consistency of our file processing system. Multi-users and concurrent access. The number of users can be working on their database as well as concurrent access also. Multiple views. Our database can be viewed multiply. Means what? If we can see some website or some Flipkart, just take a Flipkart example. In that Flipkart, we can see some products as well as their prices, their varieties also. It, it's an means what the users do. As there in that website or in that Flipkart, some can be others can work also. Means what? Means what? That product launcher on that website, they can be see a different data. Users can be see a different data. So it is on multiple views. Next is users. Typically in that Dbms means database management system, there will be mainly three types of users. That users, what type of work they can be do, there will be with a different rights and permissions to use the data. Administrator, designers and end users. Administrator can be maintain the Dbms and are responsible for administrating the database. They are responsible to look after it uses by whom it should be used. Misunderstanding can be handled or full about that data. They can be responsible to for the admin. They are responsible to look after its uses and by whom it should be used. They can be see that which data can be uses or why it can be uses. It is responsible to use that data or not. It can be also in that administrator. Access the profiles for users and apply the limitation to maintain the isolation for force security. As well as the administrator also look after the Dbms resources like system license, required tools and other software and hardware related maintenance also. Means the administrator can be also handles the software hardware maintenance, the required tools, what type of license of that website or that some system also that can be handled that administrator. Designer, the designer can be do working on the database. Means what type of designer can be work on the database. It can be kept to close watch on what data should be kept in what format, how to look that data. We can be design that. They can identify and design the whole set of entities, relations and views as well as constraints also the data. Third one is end users. The end users are those who is actually reap the benefits of having DBMS, database management system. End users can range from a simple viewers who pay attention to the logs or market rates to users such as a business analyst. Next one is features as well as and characteristics of database management system that can be as follows. The data are combined to form operational unit to minimize the duplication of data and increase the access of data in the database. The whole data can be combined together for operational units to minimize the duplication of data. In our database management system, we cannot be enter any duplicate entry. We can be save a specific data at a specific time or a specific name. The the advancement in the database enables to add more data and program to the system. Function of database management system. Function means what actually works can be done in database management system. Every computer application has a unique requirements as well as our mobile phone. It is also some application in our mobile phone. There will number of applications, and that application has different types of requirements. For example, a special purpose of software system that handle the personal inventory and marketing data may be different, not only the type of information they store, but also faculties they can be provided data entry and retrieve. Also, just like a mobile phone. On that mobile phone, we can be enter some password. Then at that time, our mobile phone can be open or we can be retrieve some data without handling that password. We cannot be enter. We cannot be see some data or we cannot be achieve anything and all. The purpose of DBM is it can be providing some main functions. That functions means what? The mechanism of organizing, the structuring and storing of data. Mean our organization how to structure that data and how to store that data. The mechanism of accessing data and provide a measure of data independent, that is some extent of insulator application program from change to the data structure. Creating program and data independence. Either one can be alternative independently of the other, reducing data redundancy. Fifth is one providing security to the user's data. Access is limited to authorized user by password or a similar scheme. Just we can be seeing that example of a mobile phone. Without entering password, we cannot be open our mobile phone, as well as our Facebook. On our Facebook account, we cannot be enter username and password. It can be open, no. But so it's what to providing a security to secure our data in our mobile phone or in our Facebook profile. Merits and demerits of DBMS. Merits means what? The advantages of database management system. First is integrity, security, database independence, shared data, and conflict resolution. Integrity means what? Data integrity means the data contained in the database is both accurate and consistent. Therefore, the data value being entire in the storage could be checked to ensure that follow within a specific range and their correct format. If in the database we can be enter text or we can be or we can enter in their number, so it is correct not. So it can be a integrated. For example, the value for the age of an employee may be an range between 16 and 75. In between we can be enter value. We can be enter 48. It can be take. We can be enter a 76. Cannot be take that age of employee. Next is security. Different levels of security could be implemented for various types of data and operation. The enforcement of security could be data value is dependent. Means what? The manager can access the salary details of employee in his departments only, as well as the data type of dependent. But the manager cannot be access the medical history of any employee, including those in his department also. And for example, in our college, only teachers can be handle that students' data. A principal can handle that student data. Means what? That student can be prepared for exam or not. The student can clear that concept or not. It cannot be handled that that type of data by principal. It can be whole that data can be handled by teachers only. So security is most important in DBMS. Next is disadvantages of database management system. First is complexity of backup and recovery. Means what backup and recovery operations are very complex in database management system environment, and this is evidence in the concurrent multi-users database system. The database system requires a certain amount of control redundancies and duplication of enable access to related data items. Means backup and recovery is not in database. Means database in DBMS. Second one is problem associated with centralization. Centralization increase a potential servantry of security branches and description of the operation of organization, because downtime of failure, the centralization means that data accessible from a single data source or that some database, or we can access some specific data. The problem associated and centralization means that actual data we cannot be handled or we cannot be achieved that. Some means the student or users can see only the product details or they can be shopping on that website. We cannot be handle how to launch product on that website and all that. So the problem associated with centralization. Third is cost of software, hardware and migration. For a well-designed and efficient data type or database system, it is necessary to purchase and develop the software and hardware. It is upgraded to allow for the extensive programs and the workspaces required for their extensions and storage. It involves a lot of cost, and additional cost is that migration, that means a shift from a traditional separate application environment to an integrated application environment. So the cost of software, hardware are different. All that three are disadvantages of database management system. Codes दिला है.